I've decided that I'm going to try to keep up with this. I mean, this person, me, Amanda, I've never been able to continuously do something like this. I mean, I get all excited about it, and then it just disappears from my life because I forget about it. So, I think I'm going to try to YouTube. Not that I'll be any good at this, but anyways, I've been talking about the theater stuff, and by the way, my audition was last night, so I will hopefully make a callback. That would be so awesome. But I did the Queen Agravain monologue, and no one else had a monologue, so I hope that's a good thing. And the callbacks are posted today, so I'll let you know tonight or tomorrow. Not that you would really care, but seeing as that's done, and I need to take a step back from that so I don't obsess over it, I'm going to talk about a little something else today. We're going to talk about poetry for a little while. I wouldn't consider myself like an expert on anything, but I know what I like, and I know how to write a little bit. Well, I think I do. That I was part of a contest. I put some work of mine into a contest. Damn it! Just this wow. Just this past the contest entry was like in February or March, and they got back to us, and myself and a peer of mine both made the finalists. There were they chose 18 finalists from all across the state, and the second part was not the writing. We had to actually perform our poems. What the fuck? I don't like this camera. And so I attempted to be like a performance poet, which I did not do well. But yeah, I ended up making the actual winners, which there were 5 of us, and we read at a poetry festival that a lot of actual famous writers, or at least statewidely famous writers, poets and stuff, were also reading, and it was really cool. I got to have like a little lesson with this sort of kind of slam poet from New York, and he was awesome. And then he read, and that was cool to watch. So that was really fun. Well, and like enlightening. And I hope I was actually good enough, but I don't know, I was a lot different than everybody else because like I've noticed a lot of people from either my generation or like my age, I don't know if it's everybody, but we write depressing things. We being my peers, I don't like to write depressing things. So a lot of people think I suck. A lot of other people think I'm just kind of weird. But first I'm going to talk about poems you should look up, sort of. My personal favorites are Billy Collins. I love him. I mean, what I've read of his. I mean, I haven't read everything of his. However, my current favorite poem is by him. It's called Dancing Toward Bethlehem, and that's by Billy Collins. And, well, I can recite that one too. It's Dancing Toward Bethlehem by Billy Collins. If there is only enough time in the final minutes of the 20th century for one last dance, I would like to be dancing it slowly with you. Say, in the ballroom of a seaside hotel. My palm would press into the small of your back as the past 100 years collapsed into a pile of mirrors or buttons or frivolous shoes, just as the floor of the 19th century gave way and disappeared in a red cloud of brick dust. There would be no time to order another drink, or worry about what was never said, not with the orchestra sliding into the sea, and all our attention devoted to humming whatever it was they were playing. Yeah, I find that really beautiful. But that was Billy Collins, and that's like the kind of poetry you read, right? And you would hear it performed every once in a while, but that's reading. I really suggest, if you like any kind of performance anything, one of the coolest performance slash slam poems I've ever heard. Actually, it was for a national contest thing for slam poetry. It's Scratch and Dent Dreams by Eric Darby. And if you search exactly that on YouTube, you can watch it. And that thing is fantastic. I'll try to post a link with this. But it's so cool. I don't know, it's just, I wish I could be Eric Darby. He was amazing. Another slam poem that I'm not sure the title of, so I'm going to have to look that up. I might add an addendum to this. It's, just search like Wile E. Coyote slam poem, and it's using the conceit of Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner to talk about something not exactly what you would think of, I guess. It's really quite intriguing. This guy was just like, I've never thought of that, but it's really amazing, and the lines in it. There's a line that he says, it's, the curse of an addict is to chase the thing that will destroy us. Or something like that. I have to find that so I can be right. But it's amazing. It's also, I think, from a different year of that same contest, but I can't be sure. So look that one up too. I think that's all the performance poetry I can think of. But yeah. I write myself, like I was saying, and not that I think I'm that good, but apparently I won something, so I must be at least okay. I suppose I can read and post something of mine. So, 1 second, I don't have that memorized right now, and I would really like to tell you. Well, maybe not really like, because right now I feel rather awkward bragging. But, I'm going to read poems. I wrote other stuff too that would be really cool if somebody could tell me about, but, I will read Finger Painting, which is actually titled, I think it's titled Childhood, but this is sort of like an unfinished, sort of not edited poem of mine that I have yet to actually go through a second time with a fine-tooth comb, so it would be amazing if I could get a little feedback if you get this far in this video. Let's go. Childhood jumped double dutch with us and helped us chalk hopscotch squares on the blacktop. It had the perfect way of whispering when we played telephone, and ran faster than the others during freeze tag, so fast it eluded us all. We never knew it hid in the hall closet when we played hide and seek. Half the time we had no idea childhood was playing in the first place. Adolescence played a violent game of tug-of-war. Childhood just wasn't strong enough, and we were jarred from its grasp. With momentum, we spun out of control, and found ourselves missing training wheels and the elbow pads that always broke our falls. We no longer make time for Red Rover, now that there were more important things than baseball cards and Barbie dolls. We had no room for fairy tales between history essays and algebra worksheets. With crappy cars and caps and gowns, our diplomas on the wall, the cold truth trickled in, forming black ice death traps until it was the only destination. Childhood was wasted by us, squandered, wishing it was over. Through playscapes, parks, and slip-and-slides, we'd raced for finish lines. We'd crossed off mile markers, losing teeth in chapter books and swimming without floaties. We grew, we griped, we graduated, here we are, we're done. The game show host raises curtain number 3, revealing under spotlight our well-sought-after prize. We wrap our hands around adulthood and willingly embrace it. On this side, the rules of life and time are clear. You can always forge a path to follow, through the thick and thin of things, but there is no turning back. Don't like the end of that. But I thought I did well. The worst section was like the last two stanzas, which are like the game show host until the very end. I really want to go over that. But yeah, I wrote that first class last June-ish. My teacher had this interesting exercise we did about finger painting and reacting to how finger painting affected us. And I'm like, wow, I can't talk about finger painting. Finger painting is just like not something I can write about. But still, I hope that worked out. And usually I write about random things that aren't actually relevant to my life, and I really appreciated writing this one because it is my life. I feel exactly like that sometimes. And I look back on all those things and I'm like, do you realize how many times we wish we were 18, 19, 21, and so on and so forth? Well, then you get to those places, like you finally can drive at 16 and you can watch R-rated movies at 17, and 18 you can vote and smoke cigarettes, and 21 you can finally drink, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. But then you get to those places and you think about how you're no longer a kid, and while you really wanted all this responsibility and awesome things when you were a kid, you really look back and you go, I wish I still had nap time. I wish I didn't have this much work to do. I wish I had no responsibilities and I could just sit down and read a book for me. But as far as that goes, it's just like you can't become who you are without those experiences, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And I guess to a certain extent, there are things I would change about my high school career at the very least, but I mean, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be writing or reading poetry because I made a decision to start doing that, and before that I had Emily Dickinson to dissect, and that got really, really weird. To quote someone I know, sometimes a tree is just a tree. Because, like, every single time I had to analyze an Emily Dickinson poem, they're like, more symbolism. I'm like, crap, no thanks. But anyways, now I'm just random rambling again. I hope you look up those videos if you're a poet enthusiast, and Billy Collins at Dancing Toward Bethlehem, do that, and other stuff. I think there's more I should be saying, but I can't think of it, and I have 40 minutes until class, so I'm going to be done with this for now. Thank you for watching and listening if you got this far, but peace out.